Hey, Curvis, this is Jimmy with episode 96 with my boy.
Word no, you know who it is, Papa J, aka Captain KBJ, Minister PJ in the house.
Now, if you don't, even though you should, but if you don't know who Captain KBJ, J Cintron, Minister PJ is, please rewind back to episode 30 because he is all over that shit, and he is also one of the members of the Pod Squad, and I love this dude, one of my closest friends, and I was so excited to ask him to co-host this very special episode. Who's it with, Jay?
That's with Glenn, aka Thrasher from the Headbangers.
He sounds like he said Thrasher, like he's picking up trash. Sorry, can't help it, but I'm making fun of his accent.
That's not right. It's all good though. You know how it is, my people. I got my
much love
love.
to Puerto Rico.
That's it. Boricua's in the house. Ya tú sabes. Wepa.
So we came over to YouFit where Thrasher is a GM. And we got to talk about Enigma Pro-Wrestling, which he is making blow up onto the South Florida scene. He's doing some amazing things. We talked all about his history of wrestling. What were some of the things you loved talking about today?
Oh, it was great. I mean, we talked about his championship belts. We talked about him basically blowing up after he retired from wrestling to like 315 pounds.
Yeah.
Him going back into the gym to get back into shape so he could come back and have one more run at the ring, and it was amazing. It was just, if you haven't heard his story, you gotta jump on board and listen to this because it is awesome.
I mean, this dude he's endured countless bumps, as they call it, which led to countless injuries, broken bones. I mean, this dude, he had a Play-Doh nose. I actually kind of secretly wanted to squish it, but myself, I didn't want to go there. But he had a nose that he could just bend from one side to the other. It was amazing. But he's fantastic. You guys are absolutely going to love this podcast. It's all about how much passion he has for what he does.
That's right.
And, you know, it's not always a straight road from point A to point C, but he's always come back to center, and he loves pro wrestling, and now he's doing Enigma Pro Wrestling. So please go check him out. Go to enigmaprowrestling.com and also follow him on Twitter. As you hear him say, he follows back. And that's it. Anything else you want to tell the people?
Nah, you people check it out. That's what's up. You know how we do.
And where can they find you, Jay, online?
They could find me on Twitter, Captain KVJ. They could find me on Instagram, Captain KVJ. And they could find me on Facebook, Captain KVJ, aka Papa J in the house. You know how that goes.
That's right. And you can also find him on a street corner near you Wednesday mornings as part of Weird Wednesday. He's the weird guy in the corner in some crazy outfit acting
what's up.
just insane. And so look for that. And with that, I'll say sit back and relax and enjoy this. Can you believe it's 96th episode?
96th episode. I remember when it was day one.
I know.
Freaking believable.
Unbelievable.
Time flies when you're having fun, no doubt.
And I'm sure there's going to be another Pod Squad episode coming to y'all soon.
Word.
You got to book that. But yeah, so sit back and relax for this, the 96th episode of the Curve the Cube podcast with your hosts, Jemmy and
Papa J, no doubt.
And this is Glenn Ruth, aka Thrasher Ruth.
Word.
Curve the Cube will now initiate.
Yo! What's up, kid? What's up, man?
What's up, man?
How are you?
Hi, I'm Jemmy.
Hi, I'm
Nice to
Glenn.
meet you. Nice to meet you.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there.
What? Oh, yeah.
My
Oh.
wall of fame.
Oh my gosh, I'm so gonna have to take a picture there.
Yeah.
That's an awesome. Who did the drawing? Is that the
Wait,
drawing?
one of my kids.
Aw,
And then a fan drew that.
that's awesome. Very nice, very nice. So how's it going today? How's the day in the gym going?
Tired. My last day before I'm on vacation.
Oh, I caught you just in time.
Yes, you did.
Well, good. I'm glad we can send you off into vacation time. How long are you going on vacation for?
Till next Monday.
Nice. Are you going anywhere special?
Just Orlando.
Just Orlando? Yeah, Orlando's
Got
a good
season
place.
passes for Disney and
Yeah.
Universal. And
Yeah.
my daughter's birthday's Thursday. So
Nice.
I'm going up there for.
Nice. My daughter's birthday is the 27th.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah?
Yeah, she's gonna.
Nice.
How old?
She'll be 7.
So my youngest will be 10.
10.
Well, I have an oldest of 23.
Yeah.
All 4 girls.
Oh my
All
gosh.
4 girls.
So-
Just tells you what kind of shit I was up to.
And the last one is entering the teen phase, so
she's
last time on the ride for you. That's
10
good.
when she was like 2 months old. I went to the doctor. I said, no, please, no more.
I'll get there.
We're done.
No more.
Shutting this factory down.
The
This
gun's
peanut
there. It's just not loaded.
We're done. We're done.
I had I got 2 girls. My oldest is 10.
Yeah.
So I know.
I'm also 47.
Yeah. So June 13th.
Yep.
My daughter's June 19th. See,
Oh, really?
Yeah. My daughter's June 19th. My nephew's June 15th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you 69.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very nice. There you go. All right, so let's get into it. So we are here today with Thrasher from the Headbangers.
That's right.
Mr. Glenn Ruth, former NWA World Tag Team Champion and WWF World Tag Team Champion.
And hardcore champ. Hey, I get 32 seconds of hardcore champ.
I know that. I know that. I was like, wait. I had that as a note because I thought that was completely crazy that you had just 33 seconds between when you pinned the last guy when the next guy came up and pinned you.
Right.
I was like, that can't be right. I'm like, refresh.
No, it
stayed 33 seconds.
It was a hardcore battle royal.
Crazy.
Match at WrestleMania, I think it was 20.
Oh my gosh!
It was 20.
What do you remember from that night, from that event?
The hardcore thing?
Yeah.
I remember getting hit in the head with a fire extinguisher with my peak gas.
With the what?
Fire extinguisher. First he sprayed it and then he hit me.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I really didn't see it. So.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that is literally all you remember.
Yeah, and that was my last WrestleMania.
Oh my gosh!
It was 2000.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2000.
Yeah.
According to the notes I have.
Yeah, maybe.
Wait a minute. The first one was 84.
Yeah, here I have it. You pinned Joey Abs and then Pete Gas.
Pinned me, yep. So yeah, I remember
like,
that.
Are you serious?
Mean Street Posse.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well,
still in the record book, 32 seconds.
there you go. That's all. That's what
That's
matters,
right.
right? You're on the list.
Doesn't matter how long you had it.
You're on the list.
As long as you run it.
So I was really interested, if you want to give my listeners an introduction to Enigma Pro Wrestling and to you and why you founded Enigma.
Well, I didn't found it.
Okay.
I guess I co-founded it.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a local promotion here in West Palm. We run the first Sunday of every month down at the Polish American Hall. Yeah, that's what
I'll run my fact checkers on that.
yeah, it's right down the street. It's right on I can't even think right now.
Road.
Lake Worth Road and like near Jog. Lake Worth and Jog.
West of Military, next to KFC.
Yep. It's just something. It's something local. It's something that people can get behind again. Because I remember back in the day where they used to have it down at West Palm at the auditorium.
Yeah, the auditorium. I remember
and
that.
everything else, and everybody used to go there every weekend. They knew that's what it was, and people were, they're coming around right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is really good.
And how long has it been? Have you been working on it?
In existence for probably 4 years.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we've been going steady at that building for 3.5 years.
What would have been some of the bigger challenges of getting it off the ground?
Getting it off the ground.
Really?
Just getting the brand out there.
Yeah.
Because every Tom, Dick, and Harry can throw up a wrestling thing and call themselves a promoter.
Right.
But there's only so many people that can throw up a wrestling ring and say, I'm a wrestling company.
Right.
And that's kind of what it is. What we look at Enigma is we're not a promotion, we're a wrestling company. So, which is it's real good. It's expanded and grown a lot.
Good.
Since the first one that we actually did. Our production is unbelievable. We used to broadcast live on YouTube, which we've recently just taken it down. Why should somebody else make the money off of it, not us?
Right.
So now we have our own channel on EnigmaPro-Wrestling.com. So that people can go there and actually watch. If they can't make the event, they can actually watch it streamed live.
Okay, so they can still watch it live. It's just now it's on your.
Yes.
Gotcha.
On the webpage. Yep.
Do you then put them up still on YouTube
Yes.
later and after the fact?
Well, they're actually on the webpage.
Okay.
The Enigma homepage.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So if someone wants to see videos of the event, that is their.
They go to EnigmaProWrestling.com.
Gotcha. That's amazing. And so when you say that it's grown, In what ways does that happen? Just in reputation, in the number of
fan base,
guys involved?
fan base, you know, the people that are involved with it now. There's an ongoing thing now with Hulk Hogan.
Yes, we kind of know who that is a little bit.
Right.
You know, Jason's a friend of mine, so I invited him down one time, and we got a little rowdy, and the guys took offense to it. I mean, there's legit people that are, the guys in the back are pissed off
So
at Jason because he's taking their spotlight.
I may or may not have been the one who called into the radio that morning and said this guy needs to get over it. That may or may not have been me.
Yeah, I was right there.
Is he in the building? Because
No.
Then it definitely was not.
And it was so funny too, because I'm sitting there in the back and I'm watching the first one. I'm like, this is awesome. Jason's having a good time. And, you know, everybody was out there. Virginia was out there. You know, Jay was out there. Everybody was just having a great time.
Yeah.
And, you know, to hear all the mumblings in the back by going, who is this guy? Why is he doing it? You know what? Get in the ring and outshow him. That's what you have to, that's what you do with hecklers. That's what comedians do all the time.
So here's my question, because I imagine these are big dudes, right? Full of, they're hyped up.
Yeah,
that's what they have to.
hurt.
Well, yeah, but they have to be hyped up in order. That's part of the performance and the art of it. So, from your perspective, having spent so much time in the ring as a pro wrestler, and you understand where that angst maybe comes from, or that, you know, that what that root of it is, how do you then take that experience and translate it and say, no guys, calm down, maybe you're focused on the wrong thing here, and this is just helping us grow overall?
Well, I mean, I don't know if they understand that.
Yeah.
They just understand him as this Hulk Hogan. You know, I don't know how many people actually listen to the KBJ show or what. I mean, I do. I always have since I moved down to Florida. But, you know, I don't know how many people actually really know Jason. You know, so I think they're more offended because he came into their house.
Right.
And kind of took that spotlight away from them. And all I told him, I was like, well, then outdo him.
Yeah.
If you're that hell-bent on it, just outperform him. You know, he's heckling you. Obviously, he's getting under your skin because you're taking it personal.
So, okay, so I was trying in the last few days to figure out how to ask this question without sounding in any way, shape, or form offensive, because that's not what I want to sound.
Nothing offenses me. I wore a script.
Because there is a scripted element to pro wrestling.
To an extent.
To an extent, okay.
I would say scripted.
Okay, how would you describe
Predetermined.
that? Predetermined.
There's a predetermined winner or loser.
Okay.
And there's a predetermined how you're going to get there.
Okay.
So if you want to call that scripted,
okay,
then like the finishes are like the ending of a match is what we call a finish.
Right.
Is talked about how they want to get that winner over. But like when we were in WWE, we were saying, all right, well, this guy's going to go over, and we want him to go over either cheat or clean or this or that. You guys figure it out. We had more artistic expression back then than I think that they do now, because I hear now that they have to, almost everything is written down.
Point by point.
Point by point.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I can see their point because the guys, this is my phone.
Oh, just making sure it wasn't mine.
No, it's Twitter going crazy.
No problem. They heard I was here. No, I'm just kidding.
It's the fact that I can understand it because there's such a notice now on accidents in the ring and safety of the guys and stuff like that.
Right.
So the writers want to, hey, I'm going to write this match out and let the guys perform when I'm writing. It's no different than a Broadway show. That's scripted out. It's the same thing. It's the way I always tell people is pro wrestling is a soap opera for men, some females.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It depends on the female if they're into, John Cena or whatever.
Right.
They want to see a guy, whatever. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it. Is it dangerous? Absolutely. I've broken more bones doing this and had more surgery doing this than I did playing football for 14 years.
Can you name some of your injuries?
I've had my ACL replaced in my left knee, my meniscus fixed, repaired, and then removed. I've broken both of my collarbones. I've dislocated both of my elbows at the same time. in Japan.
Oh.
In Japan, tag teaming with Terry Funk.
Wow. That was not a fun ride home.
It's not like this.
Oh my God.
I've broken my nose several times. There's no cartilage this side.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy that you're like a Play-Doh nose.
I've had my right knee ACL replaced, meniscus repaired. I didn't have to go in a second time for that one, so that one was good. Fingers, hands, toes.
Oh my gosh.
Ankles.
So yes, there is this predetermined, right, element to it. But when people use the F word, say it's fake. Yeah.
I dare them to go in and say that fake stuff just for 5 minutes.
I remember he gave me the rundown when we first talked about it. He's like, no.
We had a rundown one time, and I'm like, yo, don't call it like that. Because when I went to school for it, I went to school. Flex Armstrong was my trainer at Liz Chase. And so they used to train me, and I was going to Flex Armstrong, and I worked with Florida Championship Wrestling, Outlaw Championship. Yeah. So I know I've taken bumps, and I've had people, and I'm like, you know what? I said, you can't fake gravity, and I've heard that before.
No.
You can't.
But I mean, think about it. If you're falling backwards, what's your first natural reaction? Just go like that.
Yeah.
You do that in a wrestling ring, you're going to break your arms, your wrists, your shoulders, everything. So
is that how you broke your elbows?
No, I jumped off the top rope and came down like this, and just my body weight just came right out of the joint.
Similar to what Eddie Guerrero did that one time when he jumped off.
Yes.
Right, I see that, yeah.
Was that live on television?
Yeah, it was live. I remember watching he landed.
In Japan, Terry Funk comes over to me and he goes, sell it, brother, they're making it an angle.
Yeah, that's it.
Really?
So the last thing I remember is laying in a hospital in Japan with this little Oriental doctor over top of me with a hard hat on it, had a cross on it because they have all their emergency people in the same building. And they just took my wrist and just went straight like that and popped it right back in. Both sides. And 2 weeks later...
Okay, the listeners can't see this, but I'm speechless.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, I was wrestling. A month later after that, we were signed by Vince.
Wow.
Oh.
That's hardcore, bro.
So,
my gosh. Okay, so you are officially a badass.
That's why you see the elbow pads.
Yeah.
Oh.
In the picture with the belts. Yep. The elbow pads up top.
Now, I got to ask you a question. Do you still have your belt?
No.
No.
A replica, yes.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
So let me ask you, due to the fact, let's say when you lose the belt, you got to turn it in.
Oh yeah.
You won't. You not.
They don't manufacture another one. Man.
Okay.
So it's not like Emmys every year where then you gotta get
we had the same skinny belts the Godwins had.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, in a way, it's cool because you're touching something that's been through.
It's tradition.
Yeah, tradition. Right.
It's almost like a keepsake, and that's why when they change the belts, it's like.
Well, the belts they have now. I don't like them. I like that.
Yes.
Were they too blingy or something?
No, they're too.
They look like it's right now. It looks like a dime. At one point, it looked
tag team belts.
Yeah, the tag team belts.
They look like pennies.
No, they like pennies, like big pennies.
Oh, like literally.
But now they look like dimes. They basically switched the color now. But it's
Gotcha.
Yeah, those are the ones that I'm used to, because those are the same ones like. You have
Bret Hart had,
Nasty Boys, the Nasty Boys,
Demolition.
Right. Yep,
way back.
Right.
So how did you first get into wrestling? I know you started with Larry Sharp
at the Monster Factory. I wrestled and I played football in high school.
Okay.
So I got out of high school and I was like, I don't want to go to school. I had scholarships out my ass for football and everything else that I just didn't take advantage of.
This is in Jersey, right?
Yes, South Jersey. And so I went to a computer school over in Philadelphia. It was called Computer Learning Center.
That seems so random.
And it was right next to the 30th Street train station. So I went over there and I got a degree in computer operations. And then I was working 9 at night to 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So it was like a help desk or something?
19 years old. I was running payroll. I was running payroll checks and stuff like that. I was 19 years old. Sucked.
Yeah.
So Larry had a thing that he would give every graduating senior that played sports a free, come try out kind of card, almost, like an invitation and stuff like that. So then just finally one year I said, you know what, screw this. I drove down there. It was my mom and my stepfather. Went in there and I walk in and there's all these lights and cameras and everything else. I'm like, oh my God. I'm blown away. Mind you, I just got out of high school and I wrestled and played football. Nice. Wrestling comes last. So I used to wrestle at 176 pounds or 170 pounds. So I probably weighed about 185 at that time. So I'm walking in there, skinny as could be, 6'4", 180 pounds, maybe 190 pounds. And I see all the lights, and oh my God, I'm just going, this is crazy. Here it was Australia TV. They were doing a special about the school. So what Larry does is he takes all the tryouts in, and he gives them a tryout. He teaches them the basic bumps, straight back, front flip, and a handstand, which simulates a suplex. And then he shows you how to run the ropes. Shows you, doesn't teach you. Right. There's a difference. If you run the ropes and you do it into your side and stuff like that, and the ropes, they're going to leave a bruise all the way down their side. Same thing with cables.
Right.
But once you learn how to run the ropes, you hit it with your back, not your side. But he doesn't teach you that. He doesn't show you that. He just wants to see your agility.
So you learn the lesson.
So I'm down there, and there's like 9 other people with me. So I'm sitting there, and he's calling guys in one at a time. And this one guy had $3,000 on him, cash.
What?
Wow. Just to sign up for the school.
Right.
So he goes in, he comes back out, and he still has the money. I said, what happened? He goes, told me I didn't have what it took.
Oh my God.
And this guy's like 225, he's built,
So
he had no athletic ability at all though. But I go in there and I go, listen, before you say anything, let me gain some weight and let me come back and try out again. He's like sitting in a chair, big giant Larry Sharp. He's like, listen kid, a lot easier to teach you how to do all these flips and jumps and things at 180 than it is 225. How much can you put down? I can make you somebody in 6 months. And in 6 months from June was December, and I was in Japan wrestling with Abdullah the Butcher, Stan Hansen, Danny Spivey, and Giant Baba.
Wow.
For them.
Was that as the Spider?
I was actually in a tag team called the Faber Brothers.
Okay.
You mean Frankie, right?
Frankie and Johnny Faber.
Yeah.
And what it was the Nasty Boys were scheduled to appear. Right. They were signed by Vince for the WWF back then.
Right.
And there was a slot opened. So we sent pictures, and it was Dory Funk was booking at the time and was great friends with Larry. So he called Larry right away. He goes, you have anybody that can fill this spot? I was there.
There you go.
Johnny on the spot.
There you go.
Yep. So it was funny, within 2 weeks of us being over there for a month and a half, we were scheduled to be over there, the guy I was with hurt his back. So that leaves me by myself. So they threw me in 6-man tags against Giant Baba, Kamala, the original one, and Abdullah the Butcher.
Nice.
So I learned how to juice for the first time also.
Yeah.
Wasn't easy.
In a hurry.
Wasn't easy.
Oh my gosh.
So how did you end up with Mosh?
How did the Headbangers get started?
I came back, and and I always wanted to do something. I always wanted to go somewhere and everything else. I was friends with Lawler. Lawler always gave me an invitation to come to the USWA down in Memphis.
Right.
And I didn't want to go to a territory by myself. Right. Why? Because you don't know anybody. Right. You don't know how to survive. It's easier to survive with 2 people than it is not knowing anything or anybody.
Brody in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Exactly. I have a Puerto Rico story too.
So
we were doing tryouts, and Chaz walks in and everything else. We knew of each other because he went to a high school in the same area when we wrestled against each other.
And now, where were you? What location?
At the Monster Factory.
So, okay, all right.
He walked into the Monster Factory.
I wasn't sure if
but his high school and my high school wrestled against each other.
Right.
Gotcha, okay.
But we didn't wrestle each other because he was a different weight class than I was.
Gotcha.
So he came in, he did the tryout and everything else. He went in and talked to Larry, signed up, and then he started training, and we got really close really fast. So now I was like, listen, why don't we start a tag team? So when I was the Spider, and I said we can just be called the Spiders. We wore masks, and we looked identical. You couldn't tell us apart one from the other. So Larry's like, I think that's a huge mistake. Don't do that, because a booker will book one guy before he books 2. It's a cost efficiency kind of thing.
Okay.
So I'm like, no, I just want to try it. So Chaz was in the ring 3 weeks, and he was already doing WWF TV.
Right.
He went up there, and that's when they still had the job guys or the enhancement guys, whatever you want to call them. because I was taught it's a lot easier to making the stuff look believable, getting your ass kicked, than it is kicking somebody's ass.
Okay.
You can kick somebody's ass and make it look real.
Yeah.
But it's the lost art of selling.
Taking.
Right.
It's taking an ass whooping and having that little kid in the front row going, ooh, he's getting the shit kicked out of him.
Wait, making people wince.
It's a lost art.
Right.
So, there's few people that still do it now. There's, a handful of guys that can still, grab that attention and stuff like that and you go, ooh, was that?
Yeah.
Did he? Yeah, so it's still it's still there somewhat, but some of the new breed coming up, they're doing tombstones and they're kicking out. Undertaker's probably just, just Stunner's a high spot now.
Right.
So it's crazy. So we just got together and we just packed up and we went to Memphis and we started down there. I knew Jim Cornette. I knew all these people because Larry used to bring them in for the school shows once a month. So I got to be friends with Cornette and Jerry Lawler and all these people that had territories. Lawler had USWA, Cornette had Smoky Mountain. So once you go from there, from one territory, you would just gravitate to another and the next and everything else. And then we also met Burt Prentice in USWA, which started his own little Ozark Mountain Wrestling in Arkansas. So we went from USWA to Ozark Mountain, and then we went to Smoky Mountain where we became the Headbangers.
There you go.
Jim Cornette actually came up with the name the Headbangers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you can imagine Jim Cornette at a dancing concert, that would be that's the sight right there.
Yeah.
So he comes back to us. He goes, "I got the perfect name for you," because he hated the masks.
Right.
This comes to a full circle, this whole story. So he goes, I was at a concert, he goes, and I saw these guys, they had tattoos, ear piercing, they were spitting on each other, they just didn't care what they were doing. He goes, and they were headbanging. He goes, I'm going to call you guys the Headbangers. Mosh and Thrasher. I'm like, Jimmy, there's a guy named Slash, you can't do that. He goes, all right, Thrasher.
You just threw it out there.
You just throw it out there. Right. That's how, I want to be Mosh, because it was a shorter name, it's easier to sign.
Right.
And I lost that one.
You lost.
So then years later,
easier to sign.
we get out of I get out of wrestling, and when I got out of wrestling, I was up to 315 pounds when I got out of wrestling. So then I moved down to Florida, and I got back in shape. Me and Chaz, it's when they had WrestleMania down in Miami.
Right.
Cornette came in to do a show for the Ring Warriors for Howard Brody, and I was getting back into shape and I moved from New Jersey. I came all the way down here just to get back in shape, to start anew. Had no job, no nothing, anything. I just moved down here. Packed up my family, 2 kids, wife. I had 9 dogs at the time because dogs just had puppies.
Oh my
and I just got in the car and left.
Oh my
I had nothing, nothing, no address, nothing.
Yeah.
And I just got back in shape, and we said, we're going to go try to do this. I didn't want to go out that way. I wanted to go out on my own terms, not because I got fat and stupid and didn't want to fucking do it anymore.
Oh, you can say whatever you want.
Thank fucking God.
Yeah.
So we go down to do the show. It was right out of Fort Lauderdale, and we said, the thing about Cornette is if you don't want to know the answer, don't ask him the question, because he's going to tell you the fucking truth. And that's why people don't like him, because he doesn't sugarcoat anything.
Right. Okay.
If you said to him, hey, Jimmy, do I look nice today? No, that fucking shirt looks stupid.
Right.
What were you thinking? Do you not own a mirror?
Right.
Yeah,
so he wouldn't even just be honest. He would nail it in your head.
He would definitely tell you, no, I think that shirt looks stupid. You got one button up there. What the fucking, what does that serve a purpose of?
It's hiding my boobage.
Exactly.
So you can concentrate on the interview.
Of the shirt. What is wrong with that?
Try not to distract from the interview.
There you go. So that would be a Cornette answer. So we said, Jimmy, watch our match. Tell us what you think. We came back. He goes, I went back in time. It was 1997.
Wow.
So he goes, hey, I'm with Ring of Honor right now. Let me see what I can do. So he calls us up in probably about, say 2 months. He goes, I got an idea. You guys are going to come in. You guys are going to be managed by Truth Martini. We're going to call you guys the Guardians of Truth, but you have to wear a mask. Okay. We're like, wait a second. You told us you hated masks.
Right.
Yeah.
So we wore the black masks, arm sleeves all the way down, and everything else. So we were the Guardians of Truth for the Ring of Honor. And then we finally took the hoods off and revealed that we were the Headbangers, and people went nuts.
Gosh.
We were wrestling against the Briscoes, and our last TV, it was in September of that same year. We wrestled against the Briscoes, had a hell of a TV match. Cornette left right after that TV's. Never got another call from him again.
Oh my gosh.
Because we were Cornette's boys.
Cornette's boys, right.
And you know what? And I'm proud to say that I'm a Cornette boy.
That's what's
you know, he's genuine. He's true. He's the one that told us in Louisville Gardens that we were winning the WWE Tag Team belts. He took us all the way down to the parking garage and said, "Guys, I got something to tell you." We're like, "Holy shit, we're fucking in trouble."
Right.
What did we do, Jimmy? He's like, no, come on, come down here. So we're standing down there, and he goes, "I just want to let you guys know, you guys are going to be the tag team champs tonight." We're like, "Oh, great." He's like, no, guys, you guys are going to win the belts. We're like, yeah, we heard you, great. And we start like, well, he goes, "No, I rushed you two idiots down here so you could jump around and act like assholes like you are. So, and you don't do that in front of the guy, right, in private, in front of me,
right,
and everything else." So, yeah, so then we started jumping around screaming.
That was what's up. I like that.
So,
nice.
yeah, Jimmy's always been there for us.
Yeah.
He's, super, he's just a super guy.
Yeah.
You know, if you're honest and everything else with him, he's the same way back.
What kind of lessons have you learned from committing to wrestling? Because actually, speaking of the word commitment, I think of when you're going into a move like that, you know, when you're doing a move, like you have to commit to it, because if you don't, you get hurt, right?
The first time I ever did moonsault was on live TV. Yep. So, I could do it off a diamond board, so I'm on top of a ring post. Why can't I do it here?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You just do it.
Yeah, you just do.
You have confidence in your training and where you came from.
Right, because when you were talking about just making the decision to pack up the family and head south,
Dude,
I mean, it just sounds like
the,
such a hard sell commitment, and yeah, I find it interesting.
You have a gut feeling.
Yeah.
And that was basically, you know, it's been 5 years since I moved down here. You know, 4.5 years ago, and, you know, me and Chaz always said all we wanted to do was just have that one more ring entrance.
Right.
One more time to be, I mean, we've called them several times, you know, when they're doing house shows just around the area. Hey, can we just do one show? Just so our younger kids could see it. Because Chaz has a son that's 12, and I have a 13 and a 10-year-old.
Right, that was the whole...
Yes, that was the whole dad part.
Dad,
so everybody got all upset about, headbanger dad, but that's stupid. No, there's meaning behind shit.
Yeah, right.
Wait, I'm missing something. What happened?
Chaz got up on the rope when we did the SmackDown and
Okay.
And then everybody on Twitter and the internet just went nuts saying that was ridiculous, that was stupid.
Why? Why would they?
Because they didn't understand the meaning behind that, because we were headbangers.
Yeah,
Gotcha. It was outside of your normal.
It was outside the realm.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Whoever saw, you know, a 40-year-old headbanger. There's people that come in my gym right now that are 70 years old, and they come in wearing their Metallica shirt and shit like that. So don't give me that shit that you have to be a certain age to be a headbanger.
It's timeless.
That's right.
What would you say is the biggest thing that someone who wants to become a wrestler, you know, a little kid saying, "I want to be that."
Go to school.
Go to school.
Have an education. Have a backup. It doesn't last forever or long. So you always have to have a backup plan, something to fall back on.
Yeah.
And education is probably the best thing. Go to school. Don't learn professional wrestling in somebody's backyard.
Right.
It's unsafe.
What are some of the dangers of in the wrestling industry? So you're talking about people learning in the backyards, right?
If I wrestle against somebody, first thing I always go, "Where'd you train at?" And if they say, "Oh, my friend's backyard," I'm going to be super hesitant to do anything with that guy except kick his ass.
Right.
Or stretch him or tie him up in knots and stuff like that.
And walk away.
And that's it. That's it. There's been times that me and Chaz have both done that. You know, the guys either aren't trained right or improperly, or we're stiff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because in my 24 years of wrestling, I've never had somebody go up and go, "I saw you throw a punch the other night, and you missed the guy by that much." I connect every single time. Right. To an extent.
Wow.
To an extent.
Right. Oh my gosh. So what's it like
That's probably why my nose is like this.
What's it like to take one of those hits? I mean, what's that like?
It's weird because I thrive on it. I mean,
Really?
I've had physical contact my whole life from the time I was 6, 7 years old playing football, hitting people and stuff like that and everything. I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm 55 or 50 or something like that, and I can't do it anymore. I'm going to have to beat up my wife or some shit. Can you not see I'm busy? Do you want to say something on the interview? What a great boss I am?
I do.
No, get your raggedy ass out of my office.
You're the best boss ever.
That's right. I paid her to say that.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot what I was saying. So okay, so when you were a little kid and you were playing football and you were wrestling, when did pro wrestling become on your radar? When did you fall in love with that?
It never really did.
Yeah.
I was never a huge wrestling fan. I watched, because I lived in South Jersey and we had a cable channel called Prism. And Prism used to carry Spectrum.
Okay.
And they had Spectrum Wrestling. That was the old place over in Philadelphia where they wrestled once a month on Saturday night. It was called Spectrum Wrestling on Prism TV. And it was down in South Philly where the Flyers used to play at the Philadelphia Spectrum. And I would go over to my aunt's occasionally and watch it. I saw Jimmy Superfly jump off the cage and stuff like that. But I was never really a hardcore fan. I saw it one time at a local high school. I went one time just to see it and stuff like that. But I was never really like, oh my God, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I want to do this. It was something that it intrigued me. I was curious. So it was weird because when I was in high school, I did an amateur tournament in Paulsboro, New Jersey, and it was directly across the street from the Monster Factory. So we had a break, and I went over and I looked in the window and I saw the ropes and the ring and everything else. You could stand in the ring, you could touch the ceiling. I was going, can you do anything in there? So I always knew about it, and it was always in the back of my mind. And then I got that postcard and stuff like that, and I said, you know what, let me go down and try it.
Yeah.
Right.
If I don't try it, I'll never know.
Yeah.
So then I took that first bump, and I was just like, it took the wind right out of me, and I was just like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Right.
So yeah,
It's
so
like that
it
first
was
chair shot you
exhilarating
take.
instead of making you say like maybe this isn't for me and running
Absolutely.
away.
It's
it was
that first
completely-
chop you take,
Oh
that
my
first
gosh,
chair
that's so
shot you take,
interesting.
and you get the chicken skin down your arm and stuff like that.
No
because
way.
It gives you an adrenaline rush.
That's so interesting to me.
I tell-
see, I'm out of here.
It's so funny because whenever I tell somebody that I'm going to take this chair and I'm going to hit you with it, Jason will tell you, I hit them in the head with it.
Yeah.
And if they put their hand up, I'm swinging harder.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like to block it or afterwards?
If they
to
go
hurt
like
you?
no,
Yeah,
they go
yeah,
like this to block the chair
Gotcha.
to take the blow less.
Yeah.
There's a certain way to take a chair shot without being knocked out and stuff like that. There's a certain way of doing it. If you don't know how to do it, you should take it.
Right.
So I mean, if I see a hand go up, I swing even harder.
So this is another question I was like dying to ask you. So anytime I look at someone who is, say, tightroping across some like 2 buildings or something, or I don't know, doing some other crazy stunt, I always wonder like, how do you practice that? Because there is a serious threat to your life and limb by doing that. So how do you learn to do it?
Like
so same thing with wrestling. It's like, how do you learn to do that? I mean, clearly you've taken your fair share of hits and injuries, but
I mean, a lot of it's from your schooling.
it just
I mean,
seems,
you learn how to take falls and stuff like that and stuff like. I mean,
you have to, when you're learning, you have to mess up a couple of times and really hurt yourself.
That's how I broke both collarbones.
Yeah.
I was throwing a drop kick, I landed on my shoulder, just broke right.
Oh. But then
And
doesn't
it's
that
kind of
put
hard
you,
driving a stick shift when your collarbone.
and doesn't that put you out of the game for a little while? I mean,
4 months.
gosh.
And then you're a little hesitant to go back in
Yeah.
and stuff like that. That's what hurt me with my knee surgery. The first one I had back in '99 when we were at our peak and stuff like that. I had knee surgery and it totally took me out. It was totally it mind fucked me in the worst way.
Yeah.
The best way to put it, because I couldn't get, I was too hesitant. I wasn't running the way I usually run.
Yeah.
And everything else. I had a brace on there.
Right.
I didn't need a brace because it was fine.
Right.
It was healed. I had a new ligament and everything else. It was like it was brand new. But in my head, I needed that brace because it was hurt. There was something wrong with it, and it wasn't. So I could never really get myself back into being there again.
Right.
So it was when I left before Chaz did. It was a mutual kind of thing with me and Bruce Pritchard. We sat and we talked, and he's like, you're not getting back in any kind of ring shape. What's going on? I'm like, I just can't get this out of my head. I don't know if I can. He's like, well, then I think it might be best for us just to part ways. I totally understood.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
So, and it was funny because I had the second one. I actually had the second one July 31st of last year. And I was in the ring in September.
Wow.
So, I mean, sure, yeah, medical, medicine has advanced since
Physical
1999.
therapy and whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was the same injury. I had the same things done. You can't tweak it that much.
Right.
But it was just because I knew what was coming. I knew how to rehab it. I knew everything else. I wear no braces on
you probably,
my knees now.
having been through the experience of getting better and knowing that you'd be okay, it probably was easier for you to
because I had no
break through that mental barrier.
Idea. I mean, especially it was my first surgery I ever had.
Yeah.
Scared to death. I had no idea, and then I had to go back in again. I was like, this thing's shot. There's no way.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I know that sometimes, unfortunately and tragically, there have been some instances in the ring that, a wrestler has passed away from an accident in the ring. When something like that happens, what is the palpable feel in the wrestling community?
The only one that's ever done that is Owen.
Okay.
I mean, and that wasn't a wrestling move. That was a wrestling stunt. There's a difference.
Okay.
So it wasn't something like where you're hesitant to ever get back in the ring because you don't want it to happen to you.
Yeah.
He was actually propelling from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't something that's done every day.
Right.
Hope it's never done again.
Yeah.
And but I mean, it's not something that you think about or anything else like that. No.
Yeah.
So that was just a one in a million thing, and it just sucks it was him.
Yeah, I know a few months ago, didn't Rey Mysterio Jr. had an incident in Mexico?
Yeah, but there was something that happened before,
right?
Where the guy actually had there was something wrong with his neck, and it was a whiplash kind of thing where he threw him into the corner and it broke his neck. It might have been fractured before.
Gotcha.
And then once he threw him into a turnbuckle and he did the 619.
Yeah, 619. Yeah.
His neck was already broke. He was already out.
Gotcha.
He was already out. So there's a lot of things that, like I said before, that's why it's more scripted now more than ever.
For safety.
For safety reasons.
Right.
Because, there is guys that unfortunately, pass in the ring and stuff like that.
Right.
There wasn't anybody more upset than Rey Mysterio about that whole thing. So we saw him shortly after that.
Yeah.
My dad was, he used to do bodybuilding back in the 70s, like early 70s and late 60s. And so he
I love his dad.
He used to work out with Invader number 3.
Yeah.
You know Invader number 3?
I was over there with them. I worked for Carlos.
Okay. Carlos Colon.
Yep.
Yeah. If y'all people don't know, you know. Now you know. But like I remember he wanted my dad to go, come on, Angel, come to the, So my father went one time and he seen, the bumps and everything, and he's like, this is not, my father's 5'5", and he's a smart.
It's not.
He's like, nah, I'm good.
I see some of the guys on the indie team now, and I'm just going, what are you guys thinking about?
Yeah.
I mean, they're 140 pounds.
Right.
Yeah, you can do all the flips and stuff like that, but I mean, your body's not going to take that wear and tear.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have somebody that's 250 falling on top of you day in and day out.
That's
not
a
going
lot.
to work.
Yeah.
Right.
I can still remember the conversation we had with Matt and Jeff when they were, coming into the WWE, because we had a squash match against them right before they came in.
Right.
And we told them, you got to limit that stuff.
Right.
Your high flying stuff is for special occasions.
Right. The high spot.
Special things. You can't, if you do it night after night, it takes away the wow factor.
Right, the glamour of it.
Because they're going, well, he's just going to dive over the top. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So if you save it for pay-per-views, WrestleMania, special occasion kind of thing, they're like, holy shit.
Right.
It didn't that just happen to Daniel Bryan? Because he was doing all these high stuff, like even on house shows, and by the time you know it, he's retired now, and he's a young guy. He's
he
done.
is. I don't know his whole circumstance and stuff like that.
Right.
I think it's more of a WWE thing, keeping him out. But I mean, I don't blame him.
Right.
With everything going on, I mean, you got these ridiculous lawsuits.
Yeah.
Against some of the former talent that's worked there.
Wow.
And it's just it's crazy. You know what you're getting involved with. You're an independent contractor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You're trained for it. How are you going to blame the place that you work?
Right.
That would be like blaming the gym. Oh my God, I can't believe I got a muscle now.
Do you think these
I'm going to sue this gym.
Do you think these lawsuits are having like a chilling effect on the industry?
I think it actually makes people a little bit more careful.
Okay.
I want to say. You know, to an extent, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys that know how to work, you know how to work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something that you lose or you forget or anything. It's like riding a bike. Once you do it, you know.
You know, right.
So where do you see the future of Enigma Pro-Wrestling? Where are you taking this thing?
It has the potential to be another Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. I mean, very much so. But then, you know, I don't know where the owner, if he wants to go that far, or if he's just happy doing it like this. I mean, I'm sure he's not making the money he wants to make. Everybody wants to make more, and everything else. So you know, there's endless possibilities. I mean, weird things have happened. You know, Dixie Carter owns TNA.
Right.
I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
And what would you say is in the future for you?
I would like, and I think there's a possibility of one more run for the Headbangers.
Okay.
Especially after our SmackDown showing. Vince, Shane, Triple H were from what I'm told, because I don't really remember much of it, because I took that gourd and it just totally, I don't remember anything after that. So call it a concussion, I don't think it was. I think it was just, I got my bell rang.
Yeah.
But they were shocked on how we still looked.
Wow.
People were posting pictures up from '97. Actually, it was that picture, and then one from the interview that we did for WWE.com, and saying, "What are these guys, vampires?"
Wow.
Right, yeah.
Good
So
for you.
It was weird because I think my head is actually smaller now than it is right there. So I mean, and it's also in the past 16 years. Since we've been on WWE TV, we haven't taken the bumps, the falls, or we don't have the wear and tear on our body that even Bubba and Devon did.
Right.
When they had their last run up there and everything else. We don't have that wear and tear. So do I think, you know, at 47 I could still give the young guys a run for and teach them stuff? Absolutely. Because that's what it's about now. It's about passing it on to the younger guys.
Yeah.
You know, the American Alpha. You know, all the young teams that they have up there now and stuff like that. You know, I'm excited. I think, you know, there's a good possibility it could happen.
All right.
So
I want to make sure. Well, first, did you have anything else you wanted to ask before?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I wanted to make sure you had an opportunity to plug your gym.
Oh, I'm actually the current GM at YouFit Health Clubs in Lantana. We have 114 of them nationwide. I started here 3 years ago. They had 57, and they've doubled in 3 years the size and everything else. It's a great gym. It's clean. It's I'll say well managed.
The jury's still out on that. I think
it's well managed. It's fun. It gives me you know, it keeps me in the mindset. And that's what happened when I got out of wrestling. I got into the restaurant field, and I was a supervisor
around food all the time.
I was a supervisor for a major pizza chain. I'm not going to plug them.
All right, no problem.
They can suck it.
No need to. No need to.
So of course there was messed up pizzas, and I would be taking home 3 or 4
Of course,
pizzas at night,
naturally.
sucking down an 18-pack and not thinking twice about it. So yeah, 318 pounds comes really fast.
Yeah.
You know, I could see you know. One more run for the Headbangers.
Yeah.
I can see, you know, a long time future here. I love doing this. You know, having people come in because I can tell them my story.
Right.
You know, one time I was in their shoes. I was 315 pounds, and it's just it's a mindset. It absolutely is a mindset.
Right.
I mean, I was just like that. I was like, why should I bother? Why not? I have kids. I have things I want to see still. You know, and everything else. Even though I've seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Some stuff are illegal to talk about.
Oh, come on, nobody's listening. We'll edit it out later, bro.
You know, it's a mindset. It's a whole lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Right.
Because as you get older, it's harder to lose the weight and everything
yeah.
else. So you got to change the whole lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Right,
The Fruity Pebbles aren't good for you anymore.
Right.
So egg whites. Yeah.
Egg whites.
So it's a whole change. I love it. You know, actually, Chaz got me involved with YouFit because when I moved down here, I said, "What gym do you go to?" He goes, "Oh, there's this place called YouFit. It's good. It's $10 a month. It's awesome. It's clean. Nobody bothers you or anything else." So I started going, and I was there 4 hours a day. I was doing, you know, an hour and a half of cardio, working out for an hour, and then doing more cardio to drop all this weight. I got down as low as 218 pounds.
Wow.
So I lost over 100 pounds.
Good for you.
Around. Not there now, but it was. But I was too light. I was too. I didn't look healthy. I looked like I was sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I got back to a comfortable weight. I'm like around 245, 250-ish right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same exact weight as I was there.
Wow.
And, you know, one of the guys come up to me, he knows me from wrestling, he goes, "Why don't you just get a freaking job here? You're here all the time." So I stuck my head into the manager's office and said, "Hey, are you guys looking to hire anybody?" And she goes, "Well, what kind of background you got?" And I had background with restaurants and managing and stuff like that. I got hired as an assistant manager 3 months I had my own gym.
That's
Nice.
good. That's
And
amazing.
I had this gym at first, and then I was in Green Acres, and I was there for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been back here at this gym for almost a year.
Good for you.
Nice.
Good
So
for you.
I like it. You know, the owners are great. You know, everybody supports what I've been doing. You know, YouFit jumped right on the bandwagon with the SmackDown. They sent out a press release.
Did they? That's
And
awesome.
Oh, everything. Absolutely. Why not?
That's great. Of
Yeah.
course.
Why
Of
not?
course.
I told them,
That's
I said,
awesome.
you know, I said, I make it back on TV, I'll wear YouFit boxers.
There you
I
go.
flash everybody.
I like that.
I love it. I
That's
love
what's
it.
up,
I
man.
love
So
it. That's
real.
awesome. Good for you. So I know people can go to it's enigmaprowrestling.com.
Yep.
And so this episode will actually be out on Monday. So nothing for this weekend, but do you have anything else coming up on the horizon?
We actually just got back from California.
Mm-hmm.
We were out there with Jimmy Hart, Leap and Lanny Poffo, Randy's brother.
Where did
Nice
these
guy,
names?
nice
Where
guy.
did these names come from? I
I have no idea.
Well,
Like
he-
these
Lanny
names are
can jump.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can jump anymore, but Lanny can jump. Sabu was out there with
Right.
us, and Kevin Thorne. So we had a really good, nice weekend
Yes.
last weekend.
Yeah.
And we've been pretty busy since the SmackDown and everything else. So we're going to kind of try to lay low for a little bit.
Okay.
We got some things coming up in October and stuff like that.
All right.
But we don't. It's funny when we go away now. It's hard for us to go away on the weekends because Chaz has his sons in soccer. He's very, very into soccer, so it's hard to have open weekends and stuff like that. And we travel so much.
Right.
I mean, when we were with Vince, we were gone 270 days a year, 280 days a year. It's a
Jeez.
lot of days.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you come back and you're back on a Wednesday and you leave again on Friday
I mean,
morning.
that's like literally being a headbanger in a band that's traveling the world.
But there's no off season.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's another thing that people don't remember. Football players, hockey players, baseball, they all have off seasons.
Yep.
Pro wrestlers, we don't have an off season.
That's
Oh,
right.
I never realized that before.
Yeah, that's nice. It's always
Except when you get hurt and they
Right.
go on vacation.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
So but
Interesting.
there's never an off season. It's 365.
right.
Oh my gosh. And I noticed from your phone that you are definitely on Twitter.
Definitely
So
on
where
Twitter.
can people find you on Twitter?
I follow back.
Yes, he does.
My tag is GR Thrasher,
Right.
and I have 2 Facebook pages. They're both under Glenn Ruth.
Okay.
They're both full, but as soon as somebody drops off, I go all the way down to the beginning of the list, and I add people as they tried to get on. So
Okay.
there's people that haven't been added in 6 months, and they go, "Oh my God, thank God you finally added me."
Yeah.
Oh, I finally had somebody drop off.
Right.
So it happens.
Good for
but
you.
They can always follow me on Facebook. I think there's a follow button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
So.
Okay, awesome.
And I follow everybody back on Twitter. I try to talk to everybody because my concept is without the fans, we wouldn't have a job.
It's so true.
That's
And more
what's
people
up.
need to.
And that's what a lot of
recognize
people don't
That's what it.
know now.
that. Yeah.
Right.
And it hurts me when I see guys smug the fans
Yeah.
and don't talk to them or anything else.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for them,
That's right.
you wouldn't have a job.
That's true.
That's right.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's very true.
I will always take time to talk to somebody, talk to a fan.
Yep.
Good.
I've sent out pictures and everything else. Just they asked.
Yep.
Good.
So
Good.
Not at all.
I've always been very much about the fans.
That's awesome. would you like to sign off the podcast? It's really easy.
Okay.
All you're going to say is, this has been, however you want to intro yourself, Glenn Ruth, Thrasher, whatever you want to say, with Curve the Cube.
What? Curves?
Curve the Cube.
Curve the Cube.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Headbangers Thrasher, and you've been listening to me and Curve with the Cube.
Woo!
Nice.
High fives. High fives. Love it.
What's up?
Yeah.
You're very energetic.
I tried.
I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. My energy's just about shot.
Oh, trust me, so have I. I have a 4-year-old. 4.5 now. He just turned 4.5.
I want to take a picture.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely doing a picture.
You gotta put the hood on.
My captain KVJ. I got my KVJ.
You can tell him who came up with the term. Who came up with the term?
Which one?
This is right here. She's my agent. So what happened?
Calling me that.
So what happened one day? We on the phone. I took a picture with the mask, and then she's like, "Wow, Captain KVJ," and we laughed about it, and that's the bird.
It's tough. See, it sticks, right?
Yeah, and then when I used to do like a snack pack show with Jay Bird, I was a leprechaun. Then when they're like, "Yo, just be Captain KVJ," everybody knows you, Captain KVJ. That's how it stood.
Absolutely.
You know?
Do what
so
sticks,
funny.
man.
You have successfully curved the cube.
So thank you guys so much for listening to this 96th episode. I hope you have enjoyed it, as I always hope you enjoy these episodes. And this was brought to you by my friend Chris Blinston over at Big Brain 2, No Hard Feelings Tattoo Shop. And if you go there, first of all, I must tell you, rewind also to episode 31, which follows the aforementioned episode 30. And you will catch my episode with Chris Blinston. He is a world-renowned tattoo artist. I mean, multiple best in shows. Came in second place on 6th season of Ink Master. He's absolutely phenomenal. So, but anyways, go back and listen to that episode. But he also sponsored this podcast, so be sure to check them out at bigbrain2.com or chrisblinston.com. And if you go in there to get your own fantastic tattoo, because listen, guys, come on. If you're getting a tattoo, unless you also want to endure like hours and hours and hours of laser removal that's extraordinarily painful, you want to make sure you do it right the first time, okay? And there's no better team than Chris Blinston's team at Big Brain 2. So go check them out. Mention the podcast, you get 10% off. It's pretty damn awesome. I also want to say thank you to DJ John Hitta, as always, for the music beds. You can find him all over the place as DJ John Hitta. And that's it. I mean, I'm just going to ask you all to please also follow Curve the Cube and subscribe, and be sure to leave comments and all of that shit, because that is how we make it up in the rankings on iTunes, and how you show a sister some love. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and catch y'all next time. Bye.